Perfect. Ryan, welcome in, man. We've been talking like all day, all week for the last couple weeks about what we've been working on in the Whale Club. You're leading the charge on the white paper. Our white paper, for those who may not be familiar with, what is that, Ryan? Tell us a little bit about it. How's it going? What have you been working on?
Yeah, so I figure I'll just give like a pretty high level overview of what us and the team are kind of working through. So working through applications of blockchain in real estate, right? So what are we trying to accomplish? What does that look like? How do we get there? So I think what we're trying to accomplish is bringing the intrinsic value of real estate into like the crypto world, giving people the ability to purchase tangible assets with cryptocurrencies they've earned in the short term, the long term, or whatever that kind of looks like, right?
Sure.
So how are we going to get there? Well, we're trying to build use cases for each part of the real estate purchasing process we see on blockchain. So that looks like real estate tokenization, data management, smart contracts, how we execute them, title, transfer of land ownership, leasing, property management, tax implications, and legislation, the SEC compliance that goes along with that. And I'm sure there's a ton of other items that we'll kind of unearth along the way. But those are just kind of the main topics that we want to talk about right now. So how are we going to get there? We're very lucky that we work within the Whale Club. So we have a lot of experts in real estate investing, right? We have people that know commercial, multifamily, single family, short-term rentals, apartment buildings, property and construction management, even mobile home parks, right? So we have that one side of the puzzle already sorted out. I think we have a lot of very intelligent, very talented people that are working with us. And then we're going to start working with strategic partners, right? So tokenizing real estate, the infrastructure in there from the tech side, tokenizing from the funding side, SEC compliance, working with Nick and Dan, bringing in that kind of knowledge from the CCA so that we're all speaking the same language, working in the same direction. In-house education, right? Obviously, you're working on that, and that's going to be a very big part of this. And then just kind of like the exchanges that we can list properties on, right? So that I think that's going to be almost a natural progression that they kind of work towards, and that's how we're going to bridge the gap, right? Take the experts in real estate that we already know, merge them with the experts that we're merging, or the experts that we're partnering with on the blockchain side of things.
Yeah. I think the reason why we decided to do this was because the way I see it, there's just a fundamental gap in understanding in the real estate market right now. Like,
Yeah.
We were talking on our whale call today about like the similarities between the internet and blockchain. And if you tried to explain to somebody like how big of a paradigm shift it might have been, let's say going from the early 90s to the early 2000s, right? What internet was going to do over those 10 years, right? I mean, it's like no one really could conceptualize the type of shift that was coming.
Right.
We feel that same shift is coming with blockchain technology, right? And so, the intention of this white paper is to educate the real estate market, the real estate world, what applications are coming, because the internet, right, it wasn't the technology in itself is only useful when applied to particular things, right? Like search engines, e-commerce, social media, things like communication, what we're doing now, right? Like we have to have the applications, we have to have the real world use cases, and that's what essentially you're doing with the white paper.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we brought a couple of parallels up today. The one I really enjoyed was blockchain technology being the archaeology, looking at the Grand Canyon and seeing the different layers of rock. And it's just like a record of everything that's happened that you can't change and is going to be there forever, right? So
the original blockchain.
The original blockchain, the Grand Canyon, right? I think what really excites me about this is what we're talking about today, and taking the theory that we're researching and partnering up with and applying it to the real world assets that we already have, right? So I think that's going to be the next exciting step in this journey, that we're going to be able to test what we think, like we're hypothesizing what we're looking at right now in the white paper, and we will test it against real estate that we own and see if it works. And if it doesn't, we'll go back to the drawing board and figure it out from there. But I think that we have a lot of really cool concepts already really detailed out, and it'll be exciting to see what happens next.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the Whale Club crazy enough to jump first, right? And that's really what it is like, who's going to go first? We are willing to do that. We are the early adopters. We see 100%. The vision. Yeah, and we're like, look, we intend to be the example of the, how it goes well, and also probably all the pain points that are going to come up with this, right? I mean, there's a lot to digest with this. So could you tell me, for those who may not be familiar, because the first application we're going to really go after is the real estate tokenization. That's the low hanging fruit as we see it, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what that means for those who may not have any clue. When we say real estate tokenization, what does that mean?
So I think the biggest parallel is like the fund rise and the crowd raising of funds for any asset, right? It could be real estate, it could be anything. But basically, where we're taking, let's take a single family home, for example, and chopping it up into pieces. So if it's $100,000, we're going to make them $1,000. We'll have 100 fractionalized tokens that people can invest in, right? So the one property will have 100 of those tokens that anyone can buy, and they'll earn interest on. They'll have a piece of equity. There's different ways to incentivize that, but we're going to be able to take a real world single family home, apartment complex, a project that's being built ground up, and break that into smaller chunks so that the everyday investor can kind of get more involved in that. And I think that's kind of the really exciting part of all this, is that we have the talent on the real estate side, and we have the eagerness from the crypto side, and merging those two together and figuring out how that's going to work is going to be just fantastic.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. If you guys want to learn more about what we're talking about, you can check out blockchainwhales.com. We're going to have this white paper come out soon, so keep an eye out. We'll have a way to kind of sign up for that and get a sneak peek as it comes out. But